What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk to you about SoundHound. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what's really moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So SoundHound is up 8.19%, 10.05 the low, 10.93 the high. But within the first 3 hours of the trading day, you were seeing 39.3 million shares being traded, 32.1 is the average. So I'll go over why we are seeing abnormally high volume today, but on a larger standpoint, no data points coming out today that's really impacting the market, rather a sense of optimism. So you had Morgan Stanley coming out saying that they anticipate the rally to continue, broader market rally, over Fed cuts. So again, that's kind of a good thing. We also did have a Fed speaker early this morning mentioning over the next year, they anticipate 4 cuts, 25 basis points each, starting for the October meeting. I'm not really sure why they determined the October meeting rather September, because you do see for the September 17th meeting, there is a 75.7% likelihood of a 25 basis point cut. So I'm not really sure why they mentioned October rather than September. So there might be something to it. But aside from that though, while I'm actually on here, the likelihood for a cut for the July 30th meeting did drop significantly. So now there is only a 19.1% likelihood of that occurring. So that's one of the biggest things that is driving a lot of growth stocks higher today. So let me know your general thoughts on that. Today, there isn't really anything coming out from SoundHound, no SEC filings, no press releases, no new analyst ratings. So it is simply piggybacking off the broader market. But at the same time, today is the last day in Q2. So SoundHound, in my opinion, has really lagged over the last quarter. So obviously that does mean, especially for a lot of fixed percentage ETFs, that institutions will have to be buying up SoundHound because for rebalancing for Q2. So this is why you are seeing a little bit higher volume today and possibly even might roll over into tomorrow, but that's why you're seeing a lot of buying. Even looking on the secondary market, massive strings of buying, couple sells here and there, and that could be obviously just profit taking or whatever else, or same goes for even rebalancing. Some hedge funds don't have fixed percentages, maybe they're just rebalancing and cycling out of SoundHound, but nonetheless, a lot of institutions paying attention to SoundHound is always a good thing. Aside from all of that though, shorts are increasing 823,000 shares. So 34.31% of the free float is being shorted. So this is officially at a all-time high short interest. And this is all pretty much exactly what I mentioned on my weekend video on some expectations, and yeah, everything so far, increase in volume, just a little bit more of a bump up first thing. Optimism in the broader market is pretty much exactly what I mentioned how it would play out. But cost to borrow average 6.61%, utilization 86.1, and short score is 76.1. So I think based on this data right here, shorts are very overextended and could potentially result in a squeeze, but no stock just has a squeeze by itself. What it does need is a surprise catalyst. So this is where hopefully SoundHound has something up their sleeve that they could actually put out as far as news. And one thing as well that I did mention on my weekend video is IHOP and Applebee's. So again, they can formalize it and actually put it out in like news or like a PR, but as of late, the last news that did come out was on June the 17th, which the 17th and also June the 4th, both PRs weren't all that great in my opinion. So I feel like SoundHound is kind of lagging a little bit on that regard as far as news, but still, I think the basis is there for a good squeeze. So for those of you that are fans of that, definitely something to keep in mind. Looking at the options, 14 million in calls, 1.14 in puts, 59% of all the options being done today are bullish in nature. So definitely good to see. And despite everything, clearly there is a little bit more upside anticipated from the bulls. There's a consensus for it to be roughly around that 11.50 to 12 by the end of this week. Then the bears, it looks like there's a consensus for it to be sub roughly $10. So there might be a increase in tensions with Iran. I just saw some things kind of floating around saying that they are at their full strength, a lot better than they were before, and blah blah blah. I think that's also one reason why the market started to pull back slightly, but nonetheless though, a lot of stocks are rather overbought. So the first sign of uncertainty, you're going to see a little bit of a minor pullback, but still nothing overly crazy. Basically with it at 1066 though, it is trading between this R3 and this R2. So 1059 and then 1028 is going to be support levels. So just keep those in mind if you are wanting to average down for whatever reason. You might be best to kind of orient it towards these. Flip side, 1111 and then 1245 is going to be the next strong target / resistance points. Neither were touched today, so that's going to be something to kind of watch for in the next couple of trading days. We do have a lot of big data coming out as well tomorrow. So manufacturing, jolt numbers, and also Powell, all at roughly between 8:30 and 9, so all early stuff. So that should be a very fun, rocky time. But aside from that, no news, no articles, like I said, and even on an article standpoint, people are just kind of waiting. But aside from all of that though, on the actual chart itself, it is now in breakout type of territory. So above all of the key pivotal moving averages, so the 50, 100, and also 200-day moving averages. So as long as SoundHound can actually hold that 200-day moving average, which is at 1008, essentially you can see a breakout. And this is something on a technical standpoint I've been really signaling for a while, is that it's just a matter of time. And of course things could have went really south if we would have had some negative tariff news, but luckily enough, haven't really heard all that much, just the market staying optimistic about rate cuts, and that would really help SoundHound ultimately. So that's kind of moving it up. One thing to really watch for, it says super trend, so that is sitting at 1110, and if it is able to get above that, then this is where you'll have algorithmic trading like really working on your side. And you can kind of see this green line right here. This is when you have algos working on your side, so it's very easy to have nice breakouts. So potentially that's going to be the next big thing to really watch for. On the flip side, as I mentioned, 90% of the market and SoundHound is considered overbought, and you can see that from the stochastic RSI. So ultimately, first sign of weakness, whether it be specific to SoundHound on a macro standpoint, either or, you could see some consolidation. So let me know your thoughts on SoundHound. Are you buying SoundHound right now? Are you selling? Where do you see things going in the next, let's say, by the end of next quarter? Do you see it back at all-time highs? A lot of fintechs are hitting all-time highs because of the optimism associated to rate cuts. Or do you see, let's say, over the next quarter, it to hit new lows? What's your general thoughts? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And then one final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.